This is the new 24-70 f2.8S2. It's the second generation in the 24-70 f2.8 lenses, the original one for Z-mount launched in 2019, making it over a 6-year-old lens. This new lens with it brings lots of new advancements. It's lighter, has significantly faster autofocus, and it's also the world's first internal zooming 24-70 f2.8. There's also lots of other features I'd love to talk to you about and show you, so let's get started. This new 24-70 f2.8 is not only an entirely new design on the exterior, but also offers lots of new features and a new design on the interior. When it comes to that exterior design, there's a few things that you'll notice straight away. There's no longer a top plate screen when it comes to the display on the top of the old 24-70 2.8. Now it's been replaced with a second function button. Also, when it comes to the lens control ring, it can now click or be declicked, depending on what your preference is. There's also a secondary switch for controlling autofocus. You can either have full autofocus through the full range of the lens, or you can limit for a specific focusing distance. But the most notable change of this new 24-70 f2.8 is what it does when it zooms. So this is the world's first internal zooming 24-70 2.8. It means that when you're zooming from 24 all the way around to 70, the lens does not extend externally. To be able to zoom and keep the lens at the same size and shape is incredibly useful from a photography point of view, but also useful from a video point of view. There's no extending for an element that's going to crash into matte boxes. There's no extending element that's going to change the dynamics of the lens when using it on a gimbal, meaning it's much easier to keep balanced. But it also means that there's going to be better weather sealing. So if you are using that lens in tough conditions with rain and dust, there's no extending part that's moving backwards and forwards and pushing elements into the lens itself. With the lens being physically smaller, you'll also notice that you have a 77mm filter thread instead of the larger 82mm filter thread of the older 24-70. That smaller filter thread fits in with the fact that this is a significantly lighter lens. It's 130 grams lighter than the original 24-70 f2.8, giving a total weight of 675 grams, making it the world's lightest full-frame 24-70 f2.8. That 675 grams means that this is a really nice lens to use for extended periods of time. Whether using it for stills and photography, out walking, landscape, architecture, or a whole day's wedding shoot. Because of that weight, it's also really nicely handheld for video, and even if you're using it on a gimbal rig, it's lighter and easier to balance than ever before. The closest focusing distance has changed as well, now having closest focusing distance of 24 centimeters at the wide end. This lens also contains the best Nikon autofocusing system to date. It's up to 5 times faster than the previous 24-70 f2.8 and has a significantly decreased scan rate. A scan rate is how quickly a lens can go from foreground to background, and that time has been reduced by up to 40%. It's significantly faster at switching from near to far subjects and vice versa. Not only that, but the lens's ability to focus and keep a subject in focus whilst zooming has also been drastically improved, increased to up to 60% faster than the previous lens. This means you can retain a subject in focus even if you're changing focal length from wide to tele for stills and also for video. The perceived sound of the autofocusing motors has also been reduced by half, making this a significantly quieter lens than the previous 24-70 2.8 as well. That reduction in noise is mainly thanks to the new autofocusing motors that are used in this 24-70. It makes use of the Silky Swift voice coil motors. We've previously seen these motors in the 400 2.8 and the 600 f4, but this is the first time that we've seen them used in a zoom lens. These voice coil motors can drive the AF actuator in the lens to make sure autofocus is fast and it generates less noise and less vibration in the lens. The 24-70 also then takes that a step further by making use of a multi-focusing system. By using 2 autofocusing motors and 2 focusing groups, it means that you can retain higher optical quality even when focusing close for things like portrait photography. To increase autofocus accuracy even further, Nikon have adopted the use of an ABS encoder in the lens itself. This ABS encoder means that the autofocusing system knows exactly where the AF-driven elements in the lens are, meaning precise autofocus every single time. It's up to 20 times more precise than the previous lens. Alongside their ABS encoder, Nikon also employ a high-precision zoom encoder. This zoom encoder means that the focal length is 7 times more accurate than in the previous lens. And that's incredibly important because when you accurately identify the zoom position, autofocus can be much more precise. I'm currently being filmed on a new 24-70 f2.8, and one of the big changes in this lens versus the older lens is the number of aperture blades. The previous lens had 9 aperture blades, whereas in this new one we have a total of 11. Those 11 blades are really going to help when you're dealing with situations in shallow depth of field and shooting at f2.8 to give you a really nice blurry background. Bokeh ball should be smoother, and that fall off from sharp to soft should be more pleasing. This 24-70 also has the latest technology when it comes to Nikon coatings. It has the Mesocoat and the Arneo coating. Now, we have seen these before in previous Nikon Z-mount lenses, but this is the first time we've seen them in the 24-70 2.8. That should mean that if you're dealing with strong backlit situations like this, that you get a really nice clear image, and it means that there's no flaring in your frame. So what you're seeing right now is a true representation of what the 24-70 2.8 will look like. The 24-70 also has a new optical design. It makes use of a new aspherical element right at the front of the lens and arranges the ED elements differently to the previous 24-70, all meaning that it can have a higher optical image quality but still have less elements in less groups and be lighter than the previous 24-70 2.8. You'll also find that the new lens hood has a new filter adjustment window, making it easier to adjust circular polarizers and variable NDs. This new 24-70 f2.8 really builds on the original 24-70 for Z-mount cameras and improves in so many different areas, whether it's being lighter, the new improved autofocusing motors, and also having that full internal zoom means that this is a real big upgrade over the original 24-70. Over the past few days, I've really enjoyed using this lens. The lightweight does really make a difference, and you can really feel that over long periods of time. And that new zoom is nice and smooth and easy to use, and you don't have to worry about it expanding and bringing in dust and water and rain and so on. So it really makes a difference when using it out and about in a wonderful location like this. Whether you're a photographer, a videographer, this is a 24-70 2.8 lens that you really might want to add to your kit bag. If you're interested in hearing the first thoughts from a Nikon ambassador that's been able to use this lens for photography and for video, then be sure to check out the next video in the Nikon Europe YouTube account.